Mum Guilt in a State Agency. Today I'm joined by Noni Kerr-Smiley, who is a very well-known estate agent from the beautiful city of Winchester. Noni, you were telling me earlier on that you used to work 16, 17, 18-hour days. Did you ever suffer from mum guilt? Talk to me.
Yeah, I did actually suffer from a huge amount of mum guilt. I think I was so busily trying to prove myself as being the really good estate agent, to show that I was worthy of the job and to show that I was as good as the other people I was working with. None of them had small children at the time. They were younger people without kids. So I did
Was that other women in the office or men and women?
mainly it was younger men and women. Some of the older guys had children, thinking about it, but they weren't rushing off to sports days. It was a different age then. In the 90s, early 2000s, men didn't really tend to go to the sports days. And I was nervous that I would be looked down on if I said, can I go home and do this and do that?
Now, I appreciate I would not be asking you this question if you were a man, and I just want to say that for the record. Um, and the purpose of me asking that one is that there's going to be lots of mums and dads watching this asking, and I'm going to ask you how you deal with it. But one thing that a lot of women have said on the sofa is that not only do I have to work as hard as the men, but I actually have to work harder.
I felt, certainly back in the 90s, early 2000s, that a woman in the workplace in sales environment had to be not just as good as the men, but be better to stand out from the guys. Well, maybe that was my own insecurities, but that's how I felt it. So I felt that if I was then seen to go off to sports days or school plays, that they'd look down at me and go, times have changed now. People are nicer and kinder and whatever these phrases are in the workplace. And the blokes go off a lot more than they used to and stuff. But
Do they really? You
yeah, I
think so?
think they do. I think they do. And there's a bit more understanding now. But there wasn't 20 years ago when my children were small, and it was very much seen that you were expected to be there, or they go, oh, there she goes. And my boss used to say to me, oh, huh, okay, okay. Did you hit your targets? No, interesting. All right, see you tomorrow. Hmm.
Because weren't you asked at a small firm that you were originally with to be a manager, and your boss said something quite nasty, didn't he?
Oh, and it means to say nasty. I think he was controlling, maybe managing his position. But when I said, can I be a manager of an office?" He was said, "No, women in sales." This was the late 1990s. Said women don't tend to make office sales managers. Forget the titles, but women don't tend to run sales offices of estate agency firms because they need to go home to their children. When they're ill, they'll be at home with their kids. When they have sports days, they'll want to be off doing that. So you can be a manager in lettings because they work less hours and they tend to do fewer hours and stuff.
Coming back to this mum guilt, and again, I recognise things have changed, but they haven't changed a huge amount. What advice would you give to women about that guilt, and then secondly, what their partners can do? Do your kids constantly remind you that
Yeah,
they?
they do. So 28 and 30, my two, and Ellie's about to have her first baby. But even now, those little the children have got almost dates of the sports days that I missed. Yeah, don't forget you didn't come to that school play, did you? And you missed that sports day. Yeah, you're always working, always working. And yeah, one of them actually said, "There's your tombstone. Here lies Mum. She worked a lot." That's not a great epitaph to take
Would you
forward.
do some things differently in hindsight?
I don't know if one can ever do something in hindsight because you never know what it's going to be like in 20 years' time. I wish that the today Noni knew that that's how I would be feeling now, because you can never go back and get that time back. We've got our first grandchild coming. Oh my God, that's so scary. But we've got our first grandchild coming. I'm not missing their sports day. I wish I knew now how I feel, but I think I'd have done what I did then all the time because you can only live in the present. But I think that's a great mistake. And so Noni today would say, take your children's sports days, go to the school plays, work out what you're going to do at work tomorrow because you can't get that time back and your children never forgive.
What about the husbands and partners? You know, I don't care what you say in the and we all read this stuff about shared responsibilities, but I don't care what you say. women think too much, they take on too much responsibility, and men, basically are quite simple, you know, because we are all like that, aren't we? We're all a bit simple, for every thought that comes out of our mouth, we've probably got half a thought brewing. And you ladies, for every thought that comes out your mouth, you're spinning 15 plates in there.
I do think there's a difference between men and women, and I know people
Massive
hate me for
difference.
that. So I think the women who are running a house and running children and working are thinking at the same time, they're going, kids, got to get them to school, got to get to work. Who's picking up the kids from school today? Who's doing that? What are we doing at the weekend? Got to get Flossie's birthday present or whatever it is. And what we're doing for the holidays this year. And they're spinning so many plates. And most of the blokes are like going to work and coming home. Not every bloke, but a lot of them are like, work, home.
I can only deal with what's in front of us.
I'll probably get lots of hate mail for that, but I think
No,
that
it is.
is the
I'm saying
case.
that. I'm saying it.
That I think that is the case with a lot.
So what can men, do you think, can do to help the women in their relationships take some of that guilt away? Because there's some great ladies out there that do some amazing jobs in the estate agency. What can us men do to help our ladies?
Are they men that you've got in sales themselves?
Don't know. Say what you got to say.
I think they just got to actually support their wives and say it's okay, and it's okay for you to take that time off and stop being scared of your bosses. Go to the sports day and I will see you there, because you can't get that time back.
On that note, thank you very much.